Let me say good evening to all of you, the members of the executive, all members, guests, members of the media. I must say, it is a hard time to recognizing many of you now that you're out of your usual attire, running tights, track pants, vests, and bodysuits. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have been asked to speak at your awards function. I have been covering Masters Athletics for just about 7 years. Over the time, I must say, I have enjoyed working with the senior competitors. I have enjoyed working for several reasons. One, you guys are as competitive as ever. Secondly, you wear the latest sporting apparel. Thirdly, there's always the smell of Bengue and massage cream around. And fourthly, the more senior you get, the less competitors you have to face, and the more likely your chance of winning a gold. But seriously, Masters Athletics has been rewarding for me. Maybe it's because I've reached the age where I should be competing as a Masters athlete too. Or maybe it's because of the appreciation you show for the coverage you get. Tonight I want to salute all of you for your efforts, from the youngest to the oldest. Some of you have only recently started competing. Others have never stopped since their high school days and younger days. When I compare what you do with your younger counterparts, I see no difference. I see commitment and determination to overcoming challenges and the will to succeed. But still, I must say, I want to pay special tribute to the oldest competitors I know in the local scene, and if I'm not mistaken, Monica Tami and Mr. Oslo Rogers. Right. Many of you have traveled the globe representing the red, white, and black with pride. Most recently, some of you were in Perth, Australia for the World Outdoor Championships and returned home with 8 medals, 3 golds, 4 silver, and 1 bronze. Some of you are leaving later this week for a meet in the US. You travel frequently to the US to compete there. Next year on your agenda, the World Indoors in Daegu, South Korea in March. The World Masters Games are set for Auckland, New Zealand in April. Then in July, the North, Central, and Caribbean Masters Championships in Juarez, Mexico. Then in the US, the National Senior Games in Alabama. The Masters Combined Championships in Pennsylvania. Right here at home, we can look forward to see you compete at the Southern Games, the Falcon Games, the Hampton Games, and hopefully the National Open Championships, if Mrs. Surratt will allow you. And of course, your own Masters Championship sometime in May?
28.
May 28th. Masters Athletics continue to hold their own among their junior rivals, outperforming them in the throwing discipline and the long distance races. In particular, Geraldine George and Gwendolyn Smith were first and third in the women's shot put at this year's Southern Games. Curtis Cox won the Barbados Marathon in 2015. Jules LaRose took the men's 5,000 meters crown at the Hampton Games, and I must add that Cleopatra Burrell, though she still competes in the open category and professional, she's a Masters athlete, and she was a finalist in the women's shot put at the Olympics. So despite your seniority, you are showing that age is just a number, according to the mighty Sparrow. I know many of you have had to deal with comments like, where are these old people going? What are they trying to do? Why is the media wasting time to cover them? Masters athletes are people who never achieved anything in their life in their younger days. Those are comments you may have to deal with. I'm not sure what the position of the entry is when it comes to acknowledging and recognizing Masters athletes. But I want to let them know that Masters Athletics is just as recognized and regarded as open and professional track and field. So are differently able and para-athletes. At the 2005 World Championships in Beijing, China, of which Mrs. Surratt was present, the IAAF included 2 masters events, the women's 400 meters and the men's 800 meters. Now, I remember when I first asked the entries about the Masters Championships, I was shocked at the response. Why am I bothering to cover that need for old people? I heard with my own ears also. Again, Masters athletics are for people who didn't achieve much in the sport in their younger days and now trying to do something. I hope the new entries executive by now will have a different view of Masters athletics. You this evening are the stars of this function. I want to encourage you to press on. Yes, you might be old. Yes, you might be past your peak. Yes, you may be whatever, but I want to say to you again, press on. When I look at you, at whatever age you are active and healthy for the most part. For those of you who travel to foreign meets and are in contact with your colleagues from other countries, you see how active and involved Masters athletes are in the sport and in their communities. Tonight I challenge you. Do not let the criticism deter you. Let it spur you on. Let it strengthen you. You, the Masters athletes, have a part to play in the growth and the development of the sport of track and field and of the country. Don't let the critics hold you back. You have a wealth of knowledge to share with the younger ones, as well as a message to those of your age. Our younger athletes are always in the need of good role models. How else can we turn around the growing lifestyle of crime that seems to be taking over our country? To your peers, you have a message to send that over 50, over 60, over 70, and over 80 does not mean you have to sit in a rocking chair and complain about old pains all day. Look at you. You are examples of living, active, retired, and senior citizens. Well, some of you are retired. In an interview with Mr. Asadiq just after the World Championships in Perth, he mentioned some of the plans for the association. Among them, writing to athletic clubs to encourage athletes over 35 to participate, and also partner with TAP, that's the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons, to promoting healthy lifestyles. He also shared that the Masters Association could have done more with the involvement of more members. Over the years, the Masters Association has been fortunate to receive support from various government ministries as well as corporate TNT. But I know also that many of you have had to dig in your own pockets to cover expense to travel. I may be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong when I say that sometimes the major concern may have been that you had to spend your own money. But are you aware that many of your Caribbean colleagues are not as fortunate as you are to receive government funding? The success of the association does not depend solely on the executive members. Each one of you, you have a role to play. You have a voice, you have a brain, 2 hands, 2 feet, and a heart. You need to use them more, especially the heart. Some of you have been contributing to fundraising efforts, but are all of you on board? We have become a society that just think about ourselves. We don't get involved in something if it doesn't benefit us. How many of you have traveled to compete? And when you return home, you call the media and give your results. How many of you go to business places and seek sponsorship for yourself? From the little time I've been covering track and field, I've noticed that media coverage is not what it should be. I first got involved in 2005. Many of you may know that I'm from Tobago, born and bred. Too many times I've come to Trinidad to cover track and field meets, and I see 1 or 2 reporters or photographers present. Many times I'm there alone. I've mentioned this to the entries several times. Our sport of track and field is not getting the coverage it deserves, and we think it deserves. Mr. Serrett always referred to the fact that football and cricket get more attention. And I would add that there are other sports that also get more coverage. I asked myself why and went to several events hosted by these sporting disciplines. Yes, football and cricket have paid personnel to assist, but there are others that don't. What I've noticed is that there is a plan and a structure by some of these organizations. The thing about a structure and a plan is that you set goals and targets and you can measure success. When new persons come into the organization, they can be guided. For example, you can have templates for writing minutes, press releases and reports. Also, learning from other sporting organizations is important. If I'm not mistaken, the Masters Association is a non-profit organization. Hence, nobody gets paid. Am I correct?
Yes.
In track and field, the entries have started to pay stipends to officials. And there is an issue. Some people getting more than others. Only certain persons are invited to work, so they alone get a piece of the pie. However, I want to inform you that many sporting organizations thrive because of volunteers. Each of us, you and me, have to play our part in the development of the sport, no matter how small our contribution. It is not the president and treasurer's role to get money and come up with ideas. The executive are not magicians. You are not there to sit and criticize everything that goes on in the association. Don't get me wrong, critique, review and evaluation are all good. But what are you prepared to do to help in solving the problems, in getting over the challenges? I repeat, what are you prepared to do in helping to solve the problems and getting over the challenges? You also owe it to the association to hold your executive members accountable for their actions. Ensure you do so with respect and fairness. To the executive members, you are not there to serve yourselves. We have a way in this country we accept crap from our leaders in sport. Why do we tolerate mediocrity? Why do we tell our leaders what they want to hear and not what is true? Is it because if you kiss their feet, you get what you want? Each one of us here is important. None more important than the other. How suddenly does the president or vice president or secretary become elevated above us? Yes, we respect the office they hold, but we must not lose sight of the fact that they are human just like us. In the local track and field fraternity, persons are complaining about the poor performance of our junior athletes, especially at the Tacarigua Games. Yet, more or less the same executive was returned to govern the sport for the next 4 years. Several persons have kept quiet and do not want to rock the proverbial boat. Those who are speaking out are seen as dissidents and troublemakers. I hope that Masters athletes will be agents of change. You too can have a say in the future of the sport. If you are not happy with an issue, do something about it. It can't just be funding for travel is the only issue you are concerned about. I would like to hear Masters Athletics making a difference in the lives of its members, in members of the communities, mentoring younger ones, hosting fundraisers, and maybe one day getting an office. In closing, let me emphasize that it takes you and you and you and me too, all of us, to take an active role to take the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Masters Athletes from a struggling and overlooked organization to a self-sufficient and recognized body that is respected, appreciated, and supported nationally. I am looking forward to covering the sport in the year ahead, despite the challenges, and I'm hoping that more media personnel will be moved to become attracted to the sport. It is all up to you. I would like to thank you for this opportunity to address you. Congratulations to all of you, not for winning medals only, but for making the effort. Before the medals are earned come the challenges of training. Some of you have to balance training with parenthood and your career. And I'm often amazed at how the women manage what they do. I want to extend Christmas greetings to you and your families. And may the new year be a bright and successful one. In my interview with Mr. Sadiq, he said if he had one wish for 2017 that would be granted, it would be that the Masters Association would achieve financial security. I pray we all will play our part in achieving this goal. Thanks very much to everyone, and enjoy the rest of the evening.